assurons la promotion de vos produits et services. Welcome to Biz Talk, the promotion corner, le carrefour commercial sur Radio Kilimanjaro, samedi 11h, lundi 22h, heure de l'Est sur Radio Kilimanjaro. Sur le carrefour commercial, nous assurons la promotion de vos produits et services. Welcome to Biz Talk, the promotion corner, le carrefour commercial sur Radio Kilimanjaro, samedi 11h, lundi 22h, heure de l'Est sur Radio Kilimanjaro. Sur le carrefour commercial, nous assurons la promotion de vos produits et services. Welcome to Biz Talk, the promotion corner, le carrefour commercial sur Radio Kilimanjaro, samedi 11h, lundi 22h, heure de l'Est sur Radio Kilimanjaro. Sur le carrefour commercial, nous assurons la promotion de vos produits et services.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's actually noontime here in Toronto, and we are very happy to have you connected on Kilimanjaro Radio, www.kmdradio.com, and you can actually also listen to us on our TuneIn app, Kilimanjaro Radio, and all our social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Ladies and gentlemen, you're connected to the best Afro radio station in North America, and we are starting this show today, a very special one, because we are actually going to have a great interview with a great member of this community, and we want to make sure that you actually listen to his message. Ladies and gentlemen, he's someone who has always been very involved in community activities, and he has brought a lot to the community, and he's planning to bring more. He's been working hard over the past decade or so here in Canada, making sure that our community gets stronger. And today he's actually here to convey a message, a great one, that is going to be very important coming October, because we are getting ready to run for those municipal elections here in Ontario. So I'm bringing here, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Mr. Gabriel Takang, a community leader who is joining us this noon for this great show to talk about his program and what he plans to bring to the community this time. Hello, Mr. Takang.
Hi, Romeo. How are you?
Good. And I'm so happy to have you on this show. We've been planning this, and I know that you are someone, you've been really busy lately because you have been working hard on your campaign, because it's time to say, and people know that you're on campaign right now, making sure that people get your message. So how's it going? How's everything going out there?
It's not easy, but I think everything is okay. We've been very involved around the community, going around, meeting community groups and organizations, meeting individuals, knocking doors, sharing flyers, and passing the message.
Exactly, and that's what we have seen you and your team of volunteers doing recently. But before we get into any other, question in this interview, who is Mr. Gabriel Takang? I've said in my introduction that you are a great community leader. You've been doing a lot of great work for the community, but those who don't really know you, who are you?
Again, my name is Gabriel Takang. I was born in Cameroon in a small village called Tinto. I studied in Cameroon, studied in the University of Buea, where I have my first degree.
Yeah.
Then I moved to Canada in 2006. So I've been around the community, organizing, creating, and chairing community groups within the GTA.
Yep, that's good. That's good. So, and then you here. You've been in Canada, you said, since 2006, right? Is that right? Yeah. So that's been quite some time. And I know. I mean, for those who have actually met you, have seen you being there. I mean, from day one, you've been really involved in this community, and that's why we have you here today, because you have decided to run as a councillor for the next municipal elections. But what is your academic and professional background? People might try to know, because you know how people like to know what you've done. What have you studied? What have you done in the past? What are your accomplishments?
Okay. Yeah. First, I have a bachelor degree in educational administration from the University of Goya.
Yeah.
Then I have a master's degree in public administrations with a concentration on terrorism, mediation, and peace from Warden
Yes.
University in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Professionally, I've been working. I first of all worked with CIBC, American Express Bank. Then I moved to the government of Ontario, where I'm working with two different organizations within the ministry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's pretty much of a nice background. Before I get into any other question, I have this question that is really itching me. Why community work and the community involvement is so important to you?
Actually, I was born within a small community where people take care of each other. So I grew up, my mom and dad were very involved in community, especially in church community activities.
Yeah.
So I grew up in a family where we support one another.
Mm-hmm.
So when I traveled, prior to me coming to Canada, I was president of a student association, president of a youth association. And when I came to Canada, we created Manu Element Cultural Association. Then we created Kamel FC, we created Upper Banyan Cultural and Development Association. We created an all Cameroonian association that I was president of the board of directors. So community to me is something that is just like me having my own family, and my community is my family. So I love sharing, I love assisting individuals, especially individuals that are in need. So to me, community is very important, and I believe it's something that every other individual should take seriously.
Exactly, and we have seen that in your, in your ways of being involved in different community initiatives here in Canada, in the GTA, particularly in Toronto, where you are, and we have seen you. I mean, for those who really don't really know you, I mean, if someone says that he doesn't really know you in terms of your community involvement, that's that's questionable. But I mean, people might also try to know what is your political platform. People might try to know, as we are in Canada here, we know people usually go to the they have a great maybe admiration for this or that party. But at the end of the day, what party are you actually rooting for?
Actually, city council elections is not about parties.
Yes.
It's not about politics. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm running as an individual, but however, I'm a liberal.
Yeah.
But then platform is a standalone platform. What I'm running for,
Yeah.
I'm fighting for housing affordability, gun violence, youth mental health, services for senior, child care services, and drug addiction, abuse, and education. That is my
Good.
platform.
Good. And you are touching those issues that are really, really common there, especially in your ward and in Toronto in general, and even in Ontario. Very terrible stuff, terrible situations that we usually have. We see gun violence, we see education that has taken a great hit, especially in some minorities, minority communities. So, do you think it's now time to really act?
Yeah, I think the time is now, and this is a time that we actually need to make a change. We have to go out there, make our voices heard. I've been talking to my people of York Southwestern, Ward 5. The time is now for us to get into this politics and start talking about things that politicians maybe don't know, or they know but they are just neglecting them. It is time for us to come out and vote for somebody who represents us, what will represent your voices, your concerns. I am that kind of person. I'm a community member. I've been around the community for a long time. I feel these issues. I live with these issues. I think I'm in the best position to represent my people to talk about these issues.
Exactly. And then one thing that I need to mention is that we have heard a lot of political talks around this, and usually around those issues, and we've not really seen actions. And the way you're presenting it and showing it, it looks like now people themselves need to get involved in
Exactly.
and having a voice like yours, pushing through, making sure that people actually get involved and get solutions. Because I think we've been seeing a lot of talks around and no
Yeah.
action at all. And so
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, So can you point out those issues? What are the real issues that you're actually planning to bring to Toronto City Council? You've named some of them, but can you give us a broad idea of what you really want to bring down there?
Yeah, what I really want to bring, recently we had a shooting in my building where a youth was killed
Yes.
through gun violence. And through, most of the gun violence comes with drug addiction and drug abuse. So some of these things we actually have to talk about gun violence in this part of the world, in this country, in this city, and in Ward 5. It is a big issue, a very big issue. And I was surprised that when that child was shot at the building, we contacted the current councillor. She did not show up. The police were there, media was there, but the councillor did not show up because maybe she's neglecting this very important issue, which I think is very critical. We can't be sitting and watching our kids being killed. We can't be sit and watching our kids being useless through drug addiction. We need to educate them. We need to prevent it. So,
Exactly.
added to these issues, when I go around, I hear some people talk about subway safety,
Yeah.
which is a general issue in Toronto. When you, especially if you take the bus, you're taking the subway. When you look at those platforms, they are very naked with no protection, and
Yes.
that's why we have already about 3 incidences of individuals being pushed into the tracks
Yes.
because you
True.
stand on the platform, then there's just no protection. That is a major issue that the Toronto City Council has to look at, added to
Exactly.
the issues. Right, yeah.
Exactly. And this is a point that when driving to my office in the morning, recently we've been hearing a lot on even here on Kilimanjaro Radio. We're reporting about those tracks. I mean, those are subways that are not really. I mean, how can we even think of standing there on the platforms without any protection? We get people from everywhere, every background. We know there's mental health issues everywhere, and then someone can just push a lot of people, even not even one person on the
And
tracks.
especially during rush hours.
Yes,
During rush
and
hours,
this have this has really happened a lot, and we are still asking ourselves. So I'm very proud of what you're trying to say here, and that I'm very happy that you can even take it down there to City Council, because I believe this is an issue that has to be tackled. And then we, at the end of the day, we need to be safer. We even need to be safe because you're not even safe anymore, because you're talking about shooting in your building. You're talking about subway tracks that are not protected and so on. We need to make sure that citizens are safer. So what are you saying? What are you saying to the residents, the people in Ward 5? What are you telling them? What are you saying to them that, I mean, come October, what are you going to do for them?
Yeah. So what I've been telling them is not just about what I'm going to do for them. It's what we're going to do together. Because this
Exactly.
journey is not it's not my journey. If
Absolutely.
you voted for me, I'm not going to walk alone. I'm going to walk with my people over 5. That's what I've been telling them.
Yeah.
One of the things they have to do is to go out there and vote.
Hmm.
Go out there, vote for me so that I can be able to represent their voices.
Yes.
I've been meeting with them. I will always be meeting with them. If there is something that are any concern, then I have to take those concerns to the council. So we have to make this change happen. I'm not going to
Exactly.
make that change happen. We have to make it happen. It is a collective endeavor. It's not just about me alone. It's about our community. So we have to come out, especially the young people. They don't really care about voting.
Yeah.
So my team has been educating them on the importance of voting, because voting is a right. It is a
Exactly.
right. It's the only way that you can make your voices heard through elections.
Exactly. And then, we are expecting, and we should be seeing, with all the work you're doing on the field, on the ground, we should be seeing a great turnout on October 24th. But people should make sure that they go out there and vote. I think that is the message that we're having, especially for responsible candidates like you, making sure that
Yeah.
people get out there, they vote, and make their voice heard, and their
Yeah.
voices heard. And then at the end of the day, let you be their voice, but then one core important message of your campaign is that you guys are going to do it together. And this is why it is important this time, because usually people get there and say, oh, I'm going to represent you there, and then you're going to see things are going to change, but nothing has changed. So
exactly.
You are planning, and this is where it is really critical and important to understand that you are planning to work with people, to go with them and do that work.
Romeo,
yes.
let me just add this.
Yes.
The reason things are not done by politicians is because there's no connection between those politicians and their communities.
Exactly.
Do you understand? I'll put an example. Our current councillor, people don't even know her. That is to tell you that she's not around. She's just representing at the level of the city council. She's comfortable. She has been there for a very long time, which is great, an administrator. But then your people don't know you, your community don't know you.
Yeah.
She doesn't care, right? Okay. So what I'm saying is that when voted, I am coming down to this community to look what are the concerns. What are your concerns? I take them to the city. We argue, because city council is about argument. You bring your agenda, you argue the agenda. If they buy the agenda, then things are done. That is how it works.
Exactly.
So I'll be doing, if voted, I'll be doing a lot of, for those who know me, they know I can really argue when I want to put the message through. So that is what I'll be doing.
Exactly. This is very important to hear. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are on the Biz Talk, and it's a special show. It's not a promotional show today. It's a special interview, a special discussion today, because this show also is about community involvement, and we found it fit to have Mr. Gabriel Takang here to talk about his platform, as he's now a candidate for Ward 5 in Toronto for the municipal election. So it's a special promotion corner today, even though it's not really a promotional show. It's a discussion, it's a talk, it's a community talk today. So it appears that you speak English and French, and I know that in your ward there are probably many French people as well. And I know I'm not going to test your French here, but I know you actually speak some French, and you speak French. Actually, you're from Cameroun, n'est-ce pas, Monsieur Gabriel Takang?
Oui, ça c'est vrai, Romeo. Merci de me donner cette opportunité. Encore pour les francophones de mon communauté qui ne me connaît pas, je suis Monsieur Gabriel Takang, je suis candidat pour les élections municipales. Je suis là pour lutter pour les choses comme la violence armée, soins des personnes âgées, le changement du climat et d'autres choses. Je vais vous demander de sortir le octobre 24. Venez voter. Ça, c'est le moment qu'on doit faire le changement. Ce n'est pas moi qui va faire le changement, c'est nous tous. Ça, c'est la lutte de nous tous. Nous tous, on doit sortir, on doit aller voter pour faire le changement. Merci beaucoup.
Absolument. Alors, on va donc aller sur les différentes plateformes de M. Gabriel Takang pour voir tout ce qu'il a prévu, évidemment, mais il vient de nous dire l'essentiel de son message, qui est qu'il s'apprête à aller avec vous, parce que ça, c'est important de le comprendre, aller avec vous, qui êtes dans sa communauté, dans sa circonscription, pour pouvoir défendre n'est-ce pas, défendre, n'est-ce pas, tout ce qui ira avec, n'est-ce pas, la résolution, défendre les solutions et trouver des solutions aux problèmes de cette communauté-là. Donc, il vous invite à être là, à sortir massivement le 24 octobre pour voter, évidemment, et aller voter pour lui. Voilà, lui, Monsieur Gabriel Takang, vous allez voir actuellement à l'écran, évidemment, vous avez toutes les informations, n'est-ce pas? Voilà, un dépliant qui annonce évidemment comment faire pour, voilà, vous devez le reconnaître sur le bulletin de vote. Si vous habitez évidemment dans sa circonscription, il est en train de se préparer à aller à la mairie de Toronto dans le sens, pour être conseiller municipal, dans le sens de pouvoir défendre vos intérêts de ce côté-là. Et je pense que c'est un leader. Il sera un leader, d'ailleurs il est un leader, mais il sera encore plus un leader qui vous représentera avec vous en même temps et surtout qui devra défendre de façon vraiment exceptionnelle vos droits et évidemment tout ce que vous devez attendre d'un conseiller municipal. Alors voilà, mesdames et messieurs, dans l'élection municipale, les élections sont prévues pour le 24 octobre à Toronto. So I'm going to just let you now with a final word to the people listening and watching us now on radio and TV Kilimanjaro. A last word from you, Mr. Gabriel Takang.
Yeah, Romeo, I wish to say to my people that our community needs grassroots representation. We need a leader, a representative who is going to listen to our people, a representative who is going to the issues that we are facing, the issues that impacts our day-to-day living, and represent them at the city. I'm going to fight for my community. I live in this community. I feel the issues that we go through. I know those issues. I think I stand a best chance in the best position to represent you. Exactly. Please go out on October 24th. Vote for me. I am your candidate. I'm going to represent the issue. Thank you.
Exactly. Alors, mesdames et messieurs, votre candidat, donc, monsieur Gabriel Takang, pour le 24 octobre 2022 aux élections municipales à Toronto. Évidemment, votez pour lui si vous êtes dans sa commune. En tout cas, sa circonscription s'appelle Ward 5. Évidemment, c'est York Southwestern, c'est bien ça?
Oui, c'est bien.
York Southwestern, bien, c'est ça. Alors, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in today on this special Biz Talk. It wasn't a business talk, but it was a community talk with Mr. Gabriel Takang, who is actually a candidate of Ward 5 for Ward 5 at the municipal election coming up on October 24th. He has delivered his core message to you, and he's inviting all of you to go out there and vote that day, and of course, vote for him. Ok, bonne chance, monsieur Gabriel Takang.
Merci Romeo.
À très bientôt, salut.
Welcome to Biz Talk, the promotion corner, le carrefour commercial sur Radio Kilimanjaro, samedi 11h, lundi 22h, heure de l'Est sur Radio Kilimanjaro. Sur Carrefour commercial, nous assurons la promotion de vos produits et services. Welcome to Biz Talk, the promotion corner, le carrefour commercial sur Radio Kilimanjaro, samedi 11h, lundi 22h, heure de l'Est sur Radio Kilimanjaro. Sur Carrefour commercial, nous